Also, greetings everyone! I am Director of Arketer Labs, as is typically the case, on my ongoing quest to reinvent myself and other people who look too much like me. Sorry, that's a bit neither here nor there. Greetings, I have with me, so far, Carrot. We're live, speaking of people. Want to say hi or something? And if you had greeted yourself, greeted them prior to that, I didn't hear it myself. In any case, greetings in chat to Stupid 100, K. Shull, Exodus, Nexus Hunter, and that's about it. Glad we all can make it. We do have a game to raffle. It's the last game to raffle that I'm aware of for the time being. Meeple Station. We'll be playing the trailer of that here in a bit. If you would like to enter the raffle for that game, and you might have a better idea whether or not you want to once we play the trailer, you can just, tag me in chat, let me know, you know how it works. Familiar? Oh, Meeple Station. Well, I suppose we'll find out if it is once we launch the trailer. That should explain it. We'll start off with this article, which was posted to Twitter by someone noting that women seem to be having a bit of an issue late with something along the lines of Schrodinger's accountability. If they do something good, then they are a strong, independent person who's smart and successful and a great person. And if they do something that makes them look dumb, then they've been horribly abused by evil men. And the New York Post wrote an entire article about it, or rather, they gave the opportunity to someone named Brooke Cato. We're going to suffer through that next. Remember, this news isn't just breaking, it's already broken and thoroughly unfixable. Oh, there's been plenty here that's unfortunate, although we got some good news as well. I'm looking forward to getting to that. We're up to 6 likes. If we get to 13 by the end of this would have been a successful show. Pardon, I'm a bit tired. For shame! A podcast with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers across online platforms is stoking the flames of controversy by belittling female guests and making them look dumb. Notably, I kind of got the impression that they were making themselves look dumb. So. It's always felt a bit of an excuse. I mean, you can make someone look dumb, but they've inadvertently or quite intentionally had to set themselves up to that end. Someone can take great effort to make someone look dumb, but more often than not, people do it to themselves, and I do believe that is the case here. Capitalizing on it. Greetings, Doc Norris. Please bear with me. OBS is having some sort of minor seizure. If something breaks out, apologies. I can fix it perhaps later, but not right now. Whatever, masquerades a dating talk show while delving into gender roles, body counts, and legitimacy of the patriarchy. The podcast team uses social media to seek women panelists, only later roast them online in snippets pandering the virality of the inflammatory hot takes. In other words, it's perfect clickbait. Yeah, it's one of those unwinnable arguments, I suspect. In one episode, the panelists, who are all women... Okay, I'm guessing this isn't this episode, unless those are some real ugly women, which... We no longer live in an age where we can assume that they aren't just because they have a beard. In one episode, the parents, who are all women, rate themselves as 10s, much to Atlas's shock. And be honest, I'm gonna rate you guys, but none of you are a 10, he says in response, prompting chorus agreement in the comments by users cruelly joking about the women's weight and appearance. Okay, this person had to go cherry picking for the most banal and vain instances for that one, because I've heard some of these quotes. They've been spectacularly dumb. I don't like to harp on them personally. I feel that we've all been exposed to way much insulting idiocy on a daily basis on much more serious and important topics that I don't really want to seek it out. And if I do have that sort of perverse urge, well, there's Twitter for you right there. No one will ever drown for want of stupidity, so long as Twitter is still out there. Right. Greetings, Tom Leach. And anyone else who snuck in when I wasn't looking. Yes, perfect 10s do not exist. No one is perfect. And if they think they are perfect 10 physically, then odds are you can rest assured they aren't a perfect 10 or even in the high end of it on other metrics. Yes. Okay, well, I'm kind of... Well, let's get to the one valid point they might actually have here. On Twitter, whatever often promotes videos from conservative commentator Ben Shapiro, don't care, and champions disgraced internet personality Andrew Taint. Taint has been accused of sexual assault and physical abuse. After serving time remaining in prison on charges of rape, trafficking, and organized crime, he has declared his innocence, and I'm really personally quite annoyed that he's apparently free now. Yeah. If they're going to tarnish this group, Taint is an absolutely tarnishing association. Really do not care for the Taints. And I really wish Crabcrawler would be unbanned from Twitter, because he was doing some pretty good work on documenting all the shit they were getting up to. I'm not a fan. Oh, I don't think it's fully accounted for yet, but the stuff Crabcrawler was digging up, it was a pretty strong case. Yeah. I personally have the opinion that he's trying to replace and fill Epstein's gaping void. Assuming, of course, Epstein is dead. The only thing I say for certain is that we can rest assured he didn't kill himself. We'll move on to another case of self-solving idiocy. The Sun reports bear har, human head found after fishermen feared eaten alive by bear, spotted with boots hanging from its mouth. Okay, well, this is more just tragic, sorry. Some bears don't take bow to competitors for fish in their territory. The fisherman is feared to have been eaten alive by a brown bear after a human head was found. Cops. After reports, the beast was spotted with boots hanging from its mouth. The 50-year-old man was fishing at Lake Shimuranai. The incident was reported on Monday after Toshihiro Nishikawa, 54, was dropped at the remote fishing location but never returned. That same day, a boat operator who transported the man reportedly witnessed a bear with fishing boots dangling from its mouth. The driver then tried to reach Toshihiro by phone, but to no avail. Yeah, unless he had a stroke and the bear just didn't want the meat to go to waste. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, got shredded. I guess he should have been paddling off. I don't know. Bears can do surprising things. Could he be swum out to at a boat and I've gotten the guy. Getting too cynical, I really am. I was thinking this was going to be some other idiot who went aggressively out there to poke a bear because my faith in humanity has been badly damaged as of late. Well, let's move on to something a bit more cheering. Toronto's proudly anti-capitalist cafe is permanently closing. Oh. I seem to recall articles very much like this, but in regards to Seattle and other places where communists somehow thought they were making a point by launching a business and then just apparently doing badly at it. Any case, one polarizing coffee shop in Toronto is set to officially close its doors at the end of the month. When was this posted? 28 days ago. Well, they should be quite down by now. The Anarchist, located at 190 Jarvis Street, describes itself as a anti-capitalist, anti-colonial cafe, shop, and radical community space on stolen land. Well, hold on. It's anti-capitalist, anti-colonial, shop, and radical community space on stolen land. Isn't being on stolen land part of the whole being colonial? And isn't part of being a business capitalist? Hmm. Hmm. Golf shop first opened back up in March 2022. Wow. How much money did they lose in this short span of time? This is no long-lasting local legend, beloved and soon to be missed. This is something that someone should not have financially backed to start with. Hmm. It offered all the beverage and baked goods you expected to find in a cafe, with a side of radical books, art, stickers, jewelry, clothing, and tote bags. You know, wearable virtue signals and so on. Quote unquote, I hope by openly declaring this is anti-capitalist, I can motivate people to think and ask about what that means. And that those who are already anti-capitalist of one kind or another know that this is a place for them, where their politics, ideas, and identities will always be welcome. Owner Gabriel Simsfewer previously told Blog 2. Simsfewer, yeah, go on. Tom Leach says that it's not closing down now, as it was saved by the donations of thousands of capitalists. No, it was now going to limp on a bit longer thanks to the donations of some really gullible people. It's a bit different, I suppose. It does, you know, it's entirely possible. It's about the same as, oh yes, when it flopped the first time. They Morbius rather, not Mobius. Sorry, Morbius, and yeah, I haven't seen it either. I really don't want to see it. Yes, yeah, I haven't either. I'm happy the troll campaign was successful. I'm not paying not to have been a part of it, nor to have been exposed to Morbius at all. The very concept irks me. I never liked the comic book character to start with. Oh no, no, they just basically launched a petition trying to tell Marvel Studios that, well, they were busy that week, but they totally want the movie to be launched again. And they did it. They did it. A bit better because they didn't burn any of their own money Just Marvel Studios, who really deserved it. In any case, good relevant time of day to you, Green Badger Outdoors. We're up to 7 likes, which means we might, but may not necessarily, be successful. You know, I think we've gone further on into this that we can let you all know the game that's being raffled off. I haven't seen this trailer myself. It could be interesting, and once we watch it, I can perhaps do something to fix this connectivity issue. If there's any consolation, Caleb, who you can't hear this audio, you're not missing much. Just music. So that is Meeple Station. The very generous Exodus actually offered me as a gift. I had to politely refuse. Not because the game didn't look interesting, it does. I have a soft spot indeed for anything that involves humanity, or I guess in this case, meepality, getting off the planet and spreading the galaxy. But I immediately recognized this as something akin to RimWorld, and One Grey once gifted me a copy of RimWorld, and I spent so many hours working on that, just get angry at the end that was ultimately inevitable, it would seem, at least if you're playing it fairly, that I kind of learned a terrible lesson about this genre of game. My brain is bad for it. I'll get focused on it, I'll spend more time than I have available playing it, just be pissed off when it's over. So I'm not doing that to myself again. That's not the way I operate, sir. I am a rage against the dying the light type. I suppose if I'm in the right philosophical mood, it could potentially work, but I don't know. No, too many scars from RimWorld. In any case, that's the game on offer. Thank you again, Exodus. Please let me know in the chat by tagging me if you want to enter into the raffle. Numbers will be rolled for every competitor, first come, first serve. The decider will be cosmic background radiation, as you are surely aware, in a style very similar to Rare Drop in some now largely forgotten MMO. Oh, yes. I suppose it really depends on what MMO you're familiar with. Daily Mail reports... Oh, sorry, go on. Okay, it could be that I know exactly what just went wrong, and I'm going to fix it. Yes, among the things that Discord did not quite do right. Bear with me, the technical difficulties are only getting worse.
Oh no.
But things
Hey,
should
there we
all
go.
be improved.
I got it now.
Now they'll hear you. This is my fault entirely. It's one more reason why. We should have Well, I'm sorry, Garrett. Up until now, no one was hearing you, and it was due to some very easily fixable thing that I didn't think to check until you mentioned it. Oops.
That's okay. Nobody really wants to hear me anyways. Although I think Exodus is keen on joining.
Well. Okay. However, we're not using Discord for this, just for the record, so... Hopefully this will work. Link has been DM'd. And yes, sorry, hopefully we're done with technical difficulties. The technical difficulty segment of the show is over. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So, some good news to break us out of this particular unfortunate twist. Pedophile musician is beaten to death with his own trumpet by parents at a preschool where he molested children.
Oh god, I'd pay to see that video.
Marcelo Fabian Piccolo taught trumpet with the Moron City Orchestra. I'm sorry, this is actually Daily Mail. Sorry, Moron City Orchestra.
No, this has to be satire.
Is dailymail.com? .co.uk. He was jailed in 2010 for molestation but released in 2014. Parents attacked while performed in a cathedral near Buenos Aires. One allegedly beat Piccolo with his own trumpet. A trumpeter has died. No, a pedophile has died. After being badly beaten during a concert he was giving in a cathedral near Buenos Aires, he was attacked by parents from preschool where he had allegedly molested children, a priest said Monday. Hold on. Allegedly? I am the person that he was jailed in 2010 for molestation but released. Did they not find him guilty? Was he found innocent?
I mean, maybe they're saying allegedly to this particular incident, not anything prior.
The UK has some very strange views on this. We've had darker, less happier ending stories in the past. If he was innocent, well, this is a tragedy. Somehow, I don't think a bunch of preschool parents are going to really resolve this with no evidence. Marcelo Fabian Piccolo, 42, was a music teacher and trumpeter with the Moron City Orchestra. Moron City Orchestra! Really?
Yes, Moron City.
He was sentenced in 2010 to 30 years in prison for molesting 5 preschool children. He was freed in 2014 after a sentence reduction. So not allegedly, he was convicted and sentenced. The Daily Mail is full of shit.
Well, they still have to hide it somehow, you know.
The attack took place...
Try to downplay it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to focus on the attack. It took place on October 30th at the cathedral in Moron, a Buenos Aires suburb.
That's not an attack, that's justice.
Yes. The group of parents barged into the cathedral yelling, "There's a pedophile and a rapist in the church and he's playing in this orchestra." Piccolo tried to get away, but the group caught up with him and beat him, including one parent who hit the man with his own trumpet, according to witnesses. Quote unquote, "When I arrived, those people were leaving," priest George Osterheld told local media. "He was in a very, very bad way. Until the police and ambulance arrived, he was in a coma and died on Friday." The priest criticized the attackers. "They say they took justice in their own hands, but it was revenge. It was murder." Piccolo was arrested in 2007 after a mother complained that her 4-year-old child had been abused. 6 other cases came to light. The court recognized 5 of the 7 cases for trial. And then convicted, meaning it's not alleged, convicted child molester.
Oh, the priest criticized it. I think that priest has some very small skeletons in his closet.
I do wonder. I do wonder. Greetings in chat to Greg von Gottreich. Glad you could join us. I don't believe I've seen you before. It's not by that name. I hope you're enjoying the show. One Twitter user did come up with a perfect epitaph for this bastard's tombstone. I thought it was so good I had to share it. Homosexual at Dumakuma wrote, "I guess it's only natural since his crime was being in a minor."
Ha! Music puns.
His crime was being in A minor, with a trumpet above it, on the tombstone. There you go.
That is quite fitting.
I found that pretty good use overall. Greetings, Exodus!
Hey, now it's a party.
Okay, moving on. With,
Hello.
Greetings. It's more of a palate cleanser, I guess. Once again, I would assure you all, you will see nothing.
Get that bitch the fuck out of here! We kicking bitches out like this on 2023! We kicking bitches like this on 2023! He ain't fucking around! He ain't fucking around! Yo, on 2023!
The fuck?
At this point, I feel obligated to remind everyone that at no point should you emulate in any way, shape, or form the sort of idiot who winds up immortalized in this particular fashion. If a vehicle is in operation, be sure to be inside it, not stupidly clinging to the hood. New York and speeding to Albany, New York, from Troy, New York, and more accurately, just really begging for a vastly shortened lifespan.
What is this? The TikTok evolution of ghostwriting?
Absolutely baffling. Absolutely baffling. From one bit of weirdness to another, Canada. The FDA says people are confusing poppers with injury shots and dying, and experts want proof.
Wait. Aren't poppers just nitrous abuse?
Yes. It's gonna get a lot stupider.
With what all we've seen in the world today, I can believe this.
Oh, I am completely out of will to assume it's bullshit. More pointedly, what's going to happen further in this article is simply undeniable, because that is firsthand. You will see that someone is saying some very stupid things with a straight face. And regarding Tom Leach, yes, I don't trust the government to get it right. I don't trust them to do much of anything right. That said, I think once there are 7 cases and the parents are that committed to the job, but that was just awful. Poppers are a chemical substance popular among people who have anal sex, wrote Nick Logan, CBC News.
I just like to put it out there for the record that I have never used this shit.
Yeah, I don't think this is wisely encouraged in any capacity, but that's what they're going to do here. Notably, with these pictures, the idea that the occasional lady out there might confuse them for like 5-hour energy, yeah, I can see how that happens. Also, how do they quite solvent cleaner ecstasy pop? By the time you're marketing product with a name like Ecstasy Pop.
Okay, so these are the ones that are specifically marketed to be abused. I was incorrect. It's not nitrous. It's just concentrating the fumes of like printer head cleaning solution and such.
Something like that. So in this case, they helpfully define this for us. Poppers, or alkyl nitrates, are essentially banned in Canada, but they are legally sold in the US, and the US Food and Drug Administration recently warned that people are confusing the products with popular energy shots, drinking them and suffering serious consequences, according to Health Canada.
Seeing as how this kind of sex stuff ends up in gas stations at the fucking checkout, I can completely see that happening.
Which, curiously, is also where you often find things like 5-hour energy and other over-caffeinated heart wreckers. It's not unusual for packaging one product to resemble that of another, potentially leading to mix-ups. But the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has warned that people who drink energy shots to make sure they're not accidentally chugging a bottle of poppers, or they might end up sick or dead. Don't be fooled. These poppers, often purchased online or in novelty stores, are unapproved products and should not be inhaled or ingested, regardless of how they are packaged, labeled, or displayed, the FDA notes in its online warning shared in recent social media posts. But those who work in the LGBTQ sexual health say the FDA's warning that people are confusing poppers with energy shots with some dire consequences may actually be doing more of a disservice.
I mean, to be fair, I do believe in Darwinism and just letting, these problems solve themselves, so they might actually have a point.
Yes, but not the way they mean. Such
I know.
messaging borders on inflammatory and may contribute to the stigmatization of the product and the stigmatization of the person who's using cleaning solvent to get high.
Yes, drink a bottle of ecstasy and you too can see infinity.
Greetings in chat to Gadant. You just arrived at a very novel point. I said Ron Knight, an associate professor at the University de Montreal School of Public Health, who has also conducted research on poppers. I'm sure he has. With a name like Rod Knight, can that really be his real name? I'm sure he's done a lot of research on poppers. More education on poppers. Now, poppers are a chemical substance that belongs to a class of drugs known as alkyl nitrates. When they're inhaled as a vapor from a small liquid-filled ball or wrapped in colorful plastic label, the user can almost instantly get the short-lasting, lightheaded sensation of a head rush, Knight explained. Oh, and he also explained they also relax the sphincter muscle of the anus, making receptive sex more comfortable for some people. Poppers have been popular among gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men for decades.
Look, if you need to use drugs to make it comfortable, I'm sorry, there's not enough fucking lube there. Just do it right, people.
Yeah, chemical shortcuts seem like an ill-advised point, and I don't like the FDA. I think that they've done a lot more harm than good in a lot of ways, but they've got a point here. Just look at that comparison. Super Rush, 5 energy. Super Rush even sounds like it's... If it wasn't for the warning label stressing this is actually a cleaning solvent, but you're supposed to just, huff it, these would be very hard to tell apart. Especially for someone who doesn't typically consume either.
Yeah, I can see that mistake being made.
Knight acknowledges there are sometimes side effects, which may include nausea, headaches, reduced blood pressure. Alkyl nitrates are vasodilators, meaning that they open blood vessels, and even vision issues, but he suggests that side effects can be remedied through change of usage patterns.
Oh yeah, if the drugs fuck you up too much, just change how you use them.
Indeed, in case of death, discontinue use immediately. According to the FDA's website, they usually purchased in sex shops or online, often labeled as other products such as leather cleaner or deodorizers, even though the agency recommends against using them. Alkyl nitrates and poppers are unauthorized in Canada, and Health Canada has cracked down on the sale of them since 2013, though they're not necessarily legal to purchase, possess, or consume. Well,
I have to ask a question, though.
oh, by all means.
In case of death, stop using?
Oh,
Do they really need to put in
no,
a
that's
disclaimer
not,
to tell you to stop using something when it kills you?
That was a joke.
Yeah, that's more of a snark on this, because Rod Knight, Hopper expert, said that such side effects as headaches, nausea, reduced blood pressure, and vision issues can be remedied through a change of usage pattern. Does the FDA claim pass the sniff test? Energy shots are further registered. Yes, it does. In a rare moment of clear lucidity from the FDA, there you go. There's the sniff test that it passes. Okay, we're just gonna move on. one of Angry Herman's finds here. Woman arrested for exposure at McDonald's in Saugerties. Saugerties, New York. A woman in Saugerties has been charged for exposing herself at McDonald's, according to police. Cheryl Johnson, 49 of Westbury, was arrested on May 18th. At 4:49 p.m. on May 18th, Saugerties police responded to a call at the 350 Route 212 McDonald's location for a report of a female that was exposing herself in the parking lot. An investigation determined that Johnson had laid on the sidewalk next to the restaurant, pulled her pants underwear off, and allegedly began to repeatedly raise her legs above her head before deciding to run around a vehicle in the parking lot.
Sounds like she was on some poppers.
Something, surely. Police say Johnson then got into her SUV and popped out of the sunroof with her breasts exposed. All the while, her actions are being recorded live and live streamed by a friend of Oh, she's trying to go viral.
Or it's just her OnlyFans routine.
Police arrested Johnson at the scene, and she was charged for exposure of a person. Johnson was processed through Socrates Police Headquarters, then released on an appearance ticket returnable to the town of Socrates. Oh, by the way, Cadant, if you're always welcome on this way, just noting it. Moving on. Kirby man arrested after threatening driving school with 1,500 origami cranes.
Why?
Is this some sort of Japanese death curse that I'm unfamiliar with? This is from Sworn News 24. I question Sworn News 24's legitimacy, but in any case, reminds me of the time I was threatened with 99 left balloons. In a long history of the Japanese paper folding art known as origami, there is no more of an iconic shape than that of the majestic crane. It became an international symbol of peace due to the famous story of the Hiroshima atomic bombing victim Sadako Sasaki, who attempted to fold 1,000 of them in the belief that doing so would grant a wish. With such a bittersweet backstory and endearing message of recovering from the ravages of war and disaster, it's hard to imagine any way for someone to weaponize these paper birds, but someone has. On 11th May, Hyogo Prefectural Police in Kobe City arrested a 22-year-old man for sending 15 threatening letters and one case containing roughly 1,500 origami cranes to his former driving school. So I suppose we know twice over, the whole cranes don't grant wishes thing it's been proven. No wishes granted. Strictly speaking, if you fold 1,500 origami cranes, you probably should get like a minor Thanos snap. But that's all he had was a grudge and a crate of 1,500 origami cranes.
I mean, maybe just the fact that he did it, especially if he's the one that, folded all of them, just that level of dedication, intensity, made the threats more credible.
I'm just not grasping so far still. What is necessarily threatening about 1,500 origami cranes? I mean, I assume there could be something in the 15 threatening letters. But why the cranes? The incident occurred between the 27th of October last year and 9th of April this year, in which envelopes with 39-year-old employee's name on it were placed in the school's mailbox. The letters reportedly had messages such as "Die" and "Quit your job now" written on them. The paper cranes, however, were simply paper cranes. Police used surveillance video to track the suspect down and found out that he was a former student of the driving school who had failed to get his truck driver's license last year. After his arrest, the man admitted to the crime and said he'd gotten angry at their poor teaching style. When asked the million-dollar question as to what was up with the cranes, he told police that folding them helped calm him down.
Apparently not, because he still felt the need to send them.
Not enough. I suppose he got calm, and then he realized he folded 1,500 origami cranes, and then just got angry about that. What the hell does anyone do with 1,500 origami cranes?
Well, I think we have an answer to that. You send them to the people you hate.
The people who got you so angry that you felt compelled to fold them. Okay.
This guy has a lot of flaws in his logical thinking.
Yeah. More than a few. Paper cratons have been a somewhat controversial practice in recent years because they would be sent along with much needed supplies during emergencies. This led to instances of aid workers having to awkwardly remind people that their well-intentioned gesture is interfering with their life and death logistics work. Okay. Now that just feels a bit oversensitive. How much space does a single... or... never mind. However, this may very well be the first instance of someone sending a large number of paper cranes with pure malicious intent. Readers of the news online were nonetheless impressed with his origami skills, and some suggested other possible career paths. This is apparently the Japanese equivalent of just some idiot on Twitter then said. Notably, these threatening letters, die and quit your job, that's a regular day on Twitter for just about anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to use different words now. I'm not sure if you're allowed to tell someone just die anymore. You have to say unalive yourself or auto-terminate. Otherwise, you know, the algorithm will lock your account down for a bit, like when I noted that, strictly speaking, the Kenyan government not only doesn't care if you die, it's perfectly happy for you to die, but only with their permission and approved equipment. Can't be doing it yourself with a gun. That would be bad. But a government doing it with a needle, that's awesome. Made. Let's see. From the Tampa Bay Times, couple arrested after St. Petersburg. Police find stolen tortoises, rare books. Police say Joshua McCarty Thomas is also facing charges in connection with theft of rare books at Haslam's bookstore and Lighthouse Books. Guess they really like turtles. May these $1,000 trains give you such a paper cut. Yeah, that would have been good in those threatening letters. I suspect they didn't, though. How did we get here? The only thing that pains me right now in this very moment is that this isn't the most absurd thing going on at this very moment. I don't have articles for it, but have you been hearing about all the aliens?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm not
What are
leaving
they
you this.
distracting from now?
So what are they saying about aliens now?
Oh, well, first off, apparently it's very, very reputable, although they don't really have the evidence for it per se, but all the media sources want to know that it's totally legit that the U.S. has had craft alien craft they've been using to make vehicles for a long time now, and they have alien corpses, and I think they must be a bit disappointed, because much like the last time they admitted they had footage of strange aerial phenomena, and the public just went, it's happening again. Which I suppose would be very much a relief for any aliens who are very concerned that the breaching of the Prime Directive was going to somehow derail what passes for our culture. But you know, things have gotten pretty screwed.
If I
when
was on another
governments...
planet, I wouldn't want that culture sent here.
Yeah. Strictly speaking, yeah, that's true. And the US did have a bunch of alien corpses and alien ships and bits they're using for technology. We should be very glad that said alien culture has seen fit to just, you know, quarantine us as opposed to burn the planet to the ground.
I'm very much convinced that any extraterrestrial civilization wants absolutely shit all to do with us.
They've been paying any attention. I don't imagine they would, especially if they do have the technology to pull off some really complex travel.
I mean, I would vote for burning human civilization to the ground, but endangered species and all of that kind of bullshit.
We'll do it to ourselves eventually.
Yes, this is precisely why
Oh, I'm
I
glad to
want-
hear that.
I want humanity to go to the planets, because I do think that it might very well happen eventually. In fact, we've seen a massive effort to cull a population that we don't know the full ramifications of, and won't for decades yet. And I do believe we have some people at the top, some absolutely gleeful eugenicists who have just kind of resigned themselves to giving out a whole lot of rope and then socially compelling people to tie the nooses themselves. With a lot of fear, of course. And I think it
Of
won't matter
course.
because, you know, they're the elite. The villains won't cross the peasants. Really not. See, one would think that I might be. I love super science after all. It's just that I couldn't help but note that, strictly speaking, humanity has a really shit track record for predicting where technology is going to go. We generally work out eventually, but until that happens, no one really knows what's going to happen next. And when you get genetic engineering involved, holy shit, we could see all sorts of even nastier crap than we already have. But that's back to the turtles. 2 endangered Galapagos tortoises, rare books, and comic books went missing from locations across Florida. On Tuesday, a couple was arrested after police determined they sold some of the items on eBay and kept other valuables, including the rare reptiles, at a St. Petersburg home. Joshua McCarty Thomas, 46, was taken into custody after detectives searching a warrant at his home located at 2435 10th Street S, discovered one of the missing tortoises dead in his freezer and the other alive in his yard, according to a Tuesday evening news release from the St. Petersburg Police Department. Joshua McCarty Thomas' spouse, Deshay McCarty Thomas, 29, was arrested as co-defendant in the case, according to criminal report affidavits. According to a state of Florida database updated weekly, Deshay McCarty Thomas is employed by the Department of Corrections as a correctional officer. She was hired in 2022, according to the database. That's, harsh if she keeps her job after that one. The Florida Department of Corrections told the Tampa Bay Times on Thursday that she was dismissed as a correctional officer trainee. The juvenile Galapagos tortoises had microchips, and Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officials scanned the chips and confirmed they were the same tortoises that were been stolen from the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park in St. Augustine on November 30th, they said. Each tortoise is, or in one case was, worth about $10,000, according to the release. And thank you. The background music is, in fact, Bionic Commander soundtrack.
Were they planning to sell them, or was this just a half-baked fucking scheme from the start?
I believe they were, well, had sold some of the goods they'd stolen, but seemingly had thus far kept the incredibly ill-advised to keep reptiles. What they intended to actually keep them as pets, definitely, who can guess. In a Facebook post announcing the theft last year, the zoo said the tortoises had been born there in 2017 were part of a captive breeding program facility. The rare reptiles require special diets and supplements, officials warned in the post. Galapagos tortoises can weigh up to 600 pounds when fully grown and can live for 150 years, unless, of course, they get stolen by some Florida crackheads. In which case, that one of them winds up in the freezer. Hopefully the other one will pan out. Survive. Very well. 4 late tortoise indeed. St. Petersburg police say Joshua McCarty Thomas also faces commercial burglary charges in connection with rare book thefts committed at 2 St. Pete businesses, Haslam's Bookstore and Lighthouse Books. So, police said the photo collection was sold on May 7th on eBay from an account called You Can Never Have Too Much Awesome. And in this case, he definitely had too much awesome. Sometimes it can really weigh on the soul. Get you really down, things going wrong out there. Maybe your day's gone terrible, maybe your week's gone terrible, maybe the past 2 years or so have been something of a crushing grind. But in times like those, I think it's very important that absolutely everyone remember that someone else is having a shittier day. U.S. man rescued from Thai sewer after 7 hours of being trapped. The man from Hawaii was returning from his hotel when he fell into the sewer. I have some questions as to why he was there. But, just, I'll just... An American tourist has been rescued after being trapped for hours in a filthy sewer in Pattaya, Thailand this week. Okay, this is not going well for them. In any way. Jonathan Ion Vaimona, 36, returned to his hotel when he fell into the sewer on the Jomtien area around noon Tuesday. He arrived in time with his girlfriend on May 12th, as per the Bangkok Post. Okay, well that changes things a bit. The Hawaii man reportedly wandered through the sewer for hours to look for a way out. The sewer is about 2 feet wide and 5 feet deep. Vaimona cried out for help. There's no one around to hear him. I just fell down a hole. I didn't know where I was going, he said, as per the Daily Mail. It feels like I was there for days. I don't remember what was happening. Vaimona continued to wander until he heard voices coming from a light-emitting storm drain. Charlie Boonsri, a 26-year-old security guard, was heading toward a convenience store to buy soda when he heard his screaming. I looked around, but I didn't see anyone there. When I looked at this pavement, I saw a man peeking at me through the drain, Boonsri recalled. A local resident then called authorities for help, according to Pattaya Mail. By 8 p.m., rescuers managed to lift the drain's metal grate to free Vaimona. Images from multiple reports show the American traveler emerging from the darkness without a shirt and covered in mud. While he did not appear to sustain injuries, he was said to be somewhat disoriented and had slurred speech. Vaimona was washed and offered hydration scene. Following the rescue, he is escorted to police to receive further assistance. Yeah, this didn't... Okay, I don't want to be cruel. I wonder if his girlfriend even missed him. And I'm wondering if being disoriented and slurring was a feature prior to his falling into the sewer as well.
Inhaling methane can cause feelings of disorientation, confusion, loss of time. So
there was a sewer in Pattaya, Thailand. He might not have been injured directly, but that can't be him.
Parasites, methane from rotting poop water. Yeah. He's probably not doing great.
Well, he's probably recovered by now if he's going to. This was, let's see, May 15th. So he's either dead or fully recovered at this point. That's definitely going to ruin a vacation, though. I have to follow this one up. Plus, we only have 5 minutes left, so I'll have to keep this brief. From NetShort.com, apparently a man gets sued after leaving his blind date and her 23 relatives at restaurant. Restaurant staff later informed me that the woman's family had ordered a significant amount of expensive cigarettes and premium alcohol. A man in China ended up in a legal battle after walking out on a blind date who expected him to pay for her and her 23 relatives.
Hate the game, not the player.
I think in this case you hate the player in the game. How do they... The man, identified in local reports as Mr. Liu, found his prospective partner, Ms. Zhang, through a matchmaker and arranged to meet her at a popular restaurant in the Jilin province. To Liu's surprise, Zhang arrived at the restaurant accompanied by 23 relatives who joined them on their date. A very expensive
sort of
restaurant. Yep.
Incest, fucking poly tribe? I don't know. I can't think of a reason why you'd bring your family to a date.
I think her and the family. I think the family are just using her, and she's probably okay with it, to just get suckers to, buy them free shit.
That's my guess as well. As through a matchmaker, I'm guessing they didn't view this so much as a date as price negotiations for one of their cows. And they expected to extract a high price whether or not there was a sale. Wow. Well, suffice to say, whatever country you're in, if you go to a blind date and find your date with 23 members of their family, you can just call it a night right there. Just bye. Get up before they order the food. There's no way they can possibly try to put you on the bill. As this guy was, when he was handed a bill amounting to nearly 2,001, which is approximately 2,812 American.
Yeah, so this is definitely on this guy, because this implies that not only did he arrive, see this situation, but that he continued to go through with it until the bill came.
On the other hand, I can see someone expecting that all of these self-invited guests would be paying for their own meal, as opposed to sticking them with it. That doesn't follow as sane, really.
Yeah, there's also the possibility that, they arrived much earlier, ordered all of their stuff, and then when he got there, they just, said that, oh yeah, he'll be paying for it.
Which it might not have been something they informed him of until he was handed the bill for 2,800 plus bucks.
I can very much see that happening.
And that's when he decided to promptly leave the restaurant and have Zhang and her relatives settle the cost. They apparently paid the bill, but they demanded that he contribute at least half the amount. I can't imagine why. He agreed to only reimburse a fraction of total cost, offering 4,000 won, apparently 562 US, forcing Zhang to ask relatives to pay for their share of the total bill.
Why even offer that? I would just tell them I'll pay 1/24 of the bill.
Hey, look, if he wants to be the gentleman still, he pays for his meal, he pays for the date, and that's it. That's all that could possibly be perceived.
Honestly, I think the most likely scenario here is, he got sandbagged, so being gentlemanly after that is not,
I see no reason why I should have to even do that. I just can't understand why they would have the nerve to drag him to court after he's offered to cough up the equivalent of 562 bucks, which I'm pretty sure covered much more than his dates and like 3 members of his date's meal. Angered by Liu's offer, Zhang's idiot family decided to take the matter to court, filing a lawsuit against Liu to force him to pay up. The court, however, ruled in Liu's favor, saying that he should only cover the cost of his own and Zhang's meal, which is approximately 197 bucks.
I mean, I guess that's reasonable enough. I honestly still argue that, this... It just leaves the question of, did he know, and why the hell go along with this? Like, was it a situation of it being a surprise? Was she like, oh yeah, my family's going to be here too, and he did think they were going to pay for their own portions? Yeah.
I want to, give a nod to the communist government judicial system backing this correctly, but I think I see what happened here. They just realized they should side with this guy because he actually has money. The family here are clearly mooches who are far too broke to afford the variety of bribes necessary to achieve something passing crudely for justice. Okay, we are in overtime right now. Did absolutely anyone at all want to join the raffle or Meeple Station?
Nobody joined the raffle.
There are no other competitors.
Also,
So again, this game is entirely about building a space station with a population of meeple and helping them be very successful until you probably have them killed as some sort of Zen experiment on the impermanence of life. Fair what? Which is fine for some people.
Okay, I will enter the raffle, but only if you do as well.
This is a surreal situation, but I suppose it works. Okay, fair enough then. It's not obligatory. Let's wrap this up. First, Kent, who's rolled 52. Next, I'll roll for myself. I rolled 25, which means I lose.
Huh. That's an odd coinky-dink. 25 being the switching of 52.
You know, I hadn't noticed that. You're absolutely correct. That is weird. Well, clearly, Cosmic Background Radiation is trying to send one of us, at least, a message.
Yeah, I don't believe in that shit.
But what could it mean? 2, 3, 5. Well, whatever it's trying to say, it needs to be a lot more direct, because I'm not going to bother to parse this. I'm shutting down. Next, the schedule, you all know. There's no show happening tomorrow. There will be the next Autism stream next Sunday, provided nothing goes terribly wrong. Oh, greetings, Witchvetin.
Maybe the message is for Kayla to sell the key off to someone for 25% of the price on some other channel.
That would just be unsportsmanlike. Also, yes, suddenly the show has become a success.
So it is. And greetings, Grey Summers. I know I put in a confetti bin somewhere. There we go. This show is now a success, and just in time. Only 4 minutes overtime on us. Up to 50 likes in short order. I hope you've all enjoyed the show. I will see you all the same time, same channel for this one, and different... well... mostly the same time, actually. With the only exception being perhaps if I get to game stream. Which is much more like this next Wednesday, for the record. As I didn't have to hurriedly hammer out any more assets for an ungrateful, clownish, pompous, black-clad fop who drank all of the show vodka. And I'm not going to be able to replace that, so that's not going to be an option the next SRS. Not that anyone should be paying by that besides me.
I am quite disappointed that I missed that show. It just, unfortunately, was not in my schedule.
I understand. Busy times, busy times. The the show's record is still on there. It was an interesting one. The assets I had built, some of which were not completed until just a few minutes before that show, seemed to have gone off pretty well. Not that jackass appreciate it. Just entitlement. Sheer bloody... Look, until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly.
Have a good one.